democratic government where a European consensus by majority use their power, their real power, to put him up there. And let's not forget the electoral colleges and stuff like that. He doesn't represent our power, where white people are participating. It is in what is manifesting. It is the absence of black power. It is the absence of black power. Because black power came out of the womb where no white people was there. Ain't no white man in that womb fixing things up. Yes, you're going to come out fine. So real black power is a natural phenomenon that is as sovereign as how it comes into being, but it forgets its sovereignty when it's in a world of European illusions. That's a fact. So my point is that black power is not an organization. It's a position that is the manifestation of how the world view and how black people's view of themselves has transformed by how they see themselves. Now they can stomach a black man in power. Not some light Negro talking about it. Or organizing to create some world change for black people somewhere in Africa, but you won't even speak to a dark nigga on your block. Listen to me though. You're going to create some organizational entity that's going to create world change, but the very respect for black people that exists right in front of you have no value. That's a money scheme. You're going to change the world as it relates to black people, but you ain't going to have to change your respect for the black people that are amongst you. That's ridiculous. That's idealistic. That's complete fantasy. The true interpretation and internalization of black power, black liberation, black divinity is the ability for one to recognize the divinity of a black man, black woman today. The ability to hold that, not for organizational reasons, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Not for secretarial reasons, legislative reasons. But just because. Y'all know what I'm saying? Just on the strength. It is not some world scheme or goal or objective that we're going to reach called black power. It's the ability to recognize the divinity of the black man right now. To recognize the sovereignty of the black man right now. And I don't care how many paperwork and documents you fill out. If you cannot recognize the sovereignty and divinity of the black man right now, it's useless. Because you want the white man to recognize your nation. You want the white man to recognize and have respect and reverence for you. But you don't even respect and reverence those that are like you and even look like you. You're in competition. Pulling yourself down in the form of yourself outside yourself. That's deep. So I'm tired of hearing these light-skinned Negroes talking about all the black history and the black information. But they propped themselves up there. And if they saw a black man, they would say, that nigga ain't shit. They say King Tut was great, and that these black beings was great, and Harriet Tubman, and all these great black people. But they would do everything that they could to prevent the glorious shine of the black man today. That's heavy. That's something that must be checked and challenged. I'm not here for a black democracy or a black nation with a white boy on front. Gaddafi. I'm not trying to create no black nation with no white boy up in front. But it's a black nation because it's nothing but black people and one white boy in the front. This is what we have. That's not what I'm building. I'm not building an entity or relationships between people based upon economics. I'm not building a machine, an empty, callous, inhumane machine for the transportation and the distribution of goods. Importation, exportation, and armies and territories and land masses. I'm not creating that for the mere purpose of that. The hell with all that. It's time for black supremacy. We didn't saw all that before in the last so many hundreds of years. Machines and tractors and tall buildings and uniforms. Organized groups. I'm here to see the black man in power today. Today. It's not going to take no non-for-profit scheme or no 5-year plan. Look at the black man next to you and say, God damn it, it's time for you to rule. That's all it takes. It's just as quick as if you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. That's how quick it is. To change the condition of black people today. Because we got millions of reasons of why we should hate another black man, not realizing that it's just hatred, generalized, attaching itself to something. Can't wait to jump on an issue or jump on something to bring a black person down. So I'm saying nation building is some entity where power is constantly transferred, where people are voting and this mechanical economic engine. The hell with that. That's too empty. A light damn there white boy can jump up in front of that. But the very exaltation and the transformation of the perception of the world, of the black man and the black woman, that only happens when the love and respect for black people is immediately there. When black on black hate is immediately reduced. You cannot organize that out. You got to change that in your perspective right now. There's no organizational scheme. There's no propagandic scheme. There's no military strategy. You have to simply say, I hate this nigga today, but you know what? I don't hate him now. I got 50 million of reasons why I can hate this nigga, and you know what? None of them are relevant, are going to stick. When we can done that, we have done much more than any type of governmental structure or legislation or type can do. We have done much more than any type of spiritual system can do. If we can go in our minds in that moment and say, you know what, I hated you because that was what I was designed to see, but you know what, I'm challenging that. I love black people. Starting with the people who I'm amongst. I don't love intangible people all over the world. That's bullshit. Love a whole bunch of black people they'll never meet. But got a frown on their face at every nigga in front of them that they see. And something petty to argue about that ain't worth life and death, but they ready to kill over it. A bag of weed. Ready to kill each other, stab each other over a damn bag of weed. Anything. You owe me $5, nigga. Justification for doing a job and a mission that was given to you by your slave master. We got to turn into Nat Turner. Instead of aiming the swords at ourselves, we must aim them at our true open enemy. But that don't let black devils off the hook. When they aim swords at us, with the true intention, with the true attempt to destroy what we're doing, that is self-evident, not some conspiracy theory or an excuse for us to kill our own people, but a definite act of an attempt to destroy what we are doing. Definite acts that I've seen. Not just some emotional shit that, you know, but a definite act. Black devils will be destroyed. No question about it. So it doesn't let black devils off the hook. But a black devil is defined specifically out of the realm of conspiracy as an imminent threat specifically to the health, wealth, life, and cut out wealth, because that gets distracted. But the life of black beings, that's a black devil, and they will be destroyed. But it's not a lot. You don't need to write a 1,000-page book on that. You can see that if you're walking down the street and a black person pull out a gun and they got their hand on the trigger to rob and kill you, that's a black devil. I don't care how they got there or how many books they haven't read or whatever. That's immediately a black devil that needs to be destroyed. In the midst of an attempt to destroy, that's when we destroy. So that means that a disagreement does not lead to destruction. Killing, hatred, that's just a disagreement of ideas. Words do not lead to us killing one another. Those are just words. We must meet killing with killing. The efforts to killing must be left with those who attempted to kill being killed. I will stand on that. But it's not a lot of room for a lot of conspiracy in there. And a lot of Willie Lynch jumping up in people, just saying, well, we should just kill him because. Finding reasons where no imminent real threat from looking at it from a perspective of true black love. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is there. If we look at it from the real perspective of black love, there's no real threat there. That's a fact. Nothing in the material world is worth the life of a black person, but the attempt of lost life of a black person. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear me? Definite and directly. That's a fact. The rest of the time, complete bloodshed of our enemies. Complete bloodshed. It should be massacres with how many black people that are killing each other over petty stuff. Our enemies should have been massacred in massive numbers. In massive numbers. Our direct, definite enemy who controls resources, who comes and commits definite attacks of attempted murder of our people within our community, locks our people away for life, and guards them to the degree of being willing to cause death to others who would try to free them. That's a real enemy right there. That's definite. They come with guns and weapons specifically to kill black. Specifically. They should be met with death. Whether they are black or white in those uniforms. Whether they're black or white under these banners. They should be killed immediately. They should be massacred. And when we see who our enemy is and we start spending our real energy going at our real enemies, we will have no energy to get caught up into the Willie Lynch syndrome amongst one another. That's a fact. Was the European that shot the little girl, was he surrounded and even stomped? Was that much done to him? That's a fact. So the perspective of black people, the life, the value and worth of their existence has to go up. You got to have silver, gold, and a black life. Right now, we under silver and gold. Do you understand the point I'm making? We at the bottom of it right now. And that's how we treat and do one another. At the bottom of it. That has to change. So I'm